streaming. There we go. Okay, Internet, how's that looking for you there?
So I'm looking at my timeline. Is it officially Festivus Day?
Yes, I do believe it is. So,
Okay,
hey,
yeah.
Merry Festivus, Internet.
Air your grievances now. We will give you the first 5 minutes of the stream to air any and all grievances, just so that everybody gets it out of their system.
Okay, there we go. Now it's live.
Dissida Duodecim.
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 Yeah.
Decim damn near killed him.
And I just finished installing to the supposed, memory stick so it'll load faster. Which is funny because, near as I can tell, it loads pretty fast to begin with. Also, give me a second. I'm realizing I probably need to up the PlayStation Portable's volume just a little here. It's kind of low. Because there's voice acting. There we go, much better. Now, since I have actually owned this game since 2011, I'm going to, at some point, transfer my physical save file over to this, because when I'm doing the third campaign, I'm not redoing all that hard work to get all the good stuff,
Completely understand.
Especially since I've already spent like 200 plus hours on this game, as it is.
That's a lot.
Well, it is actually a very fun game.
That's a lot for a fan fiction face-punching game. Then again, I've never actually played it, so...
Well, it's not really a fan fiction game. I mean, it's got elements of it, but this is surprisingly fun for that. And I'm quite a smartass because my physical PSP is called Rumble, and not Rumble, Frenzy, like the Transformer cassette. So I named the one on the computer Frenzy. Rumble. And there's a joke, those two Transformers, because, depending on which fiction you're reading, their color schemes will get switched or mixed up. So, it's always a question of which is red and which is blue. There we go. English subtitles, and I do not have that data, so there's no point in transferring it.
Cosmos, the goddess of harmony. Chaos, god of discord. Two divine powers locked in an endless struggle.
Okay, so the food-related noises you're hearing now is me digging a spoon into a thing of frozen pineapple juice.
To their violent conflict.
Hey, I'm munching on a piece of a chocolate yoo-hoo bar, so...
Now teetering on the verge of annihilation.
They make yoo-hoo bars.
Yes.
But
They were only $1, so it's like, okay, I have to try this.
The scars of war.
I wasn't aware that such a thing existed.
And still,
yeah,
these battles rage on. A tempest the eons cannot quell. However,
Oh, it's 2. It's the game where you level up by punching yourself in the face.
yes.
There was 3, which was the dress rehearsal for 5. 4 for the moon.
5, where we fight a demonic tree.
Yeah. I'll tell you something about 5. I had actually owned the anthology collection, which had 5 and 6 on it. and I think that I ended up keeping it for about a decade without really making any progress on 5.
Right.
So I got to the point where, you know what? I actually want to get through this game, but I don't want to leave myself any possible excuse for not finishing it. So with all 4 characters, I mastered every last job that I could find.
Holy crap.
I think it took me like about 50, 60 hours to do that. Because it was just gathering dust, and like, I want no excuse for not finishing it anymore.
I have actually not finished it yet, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to, because I think my PlayStation 1 might have died. I mean, I still have it, and I used to have the Final Fantasy Chronicles collection. But then I realized, you know what? I just bought this on my DS, and I also just bought Chrono Trigger on my DS. Why do I need this version anymore?
Final Fantasy games. Fun to buy, but not so much fun to finish, apparently. I still have 9, 10... I think I have those 2 lying around somewhere. I did own the, there was a PlayStation 1 release that had remade versions of the first 2 Final Fantasy games. I played through the first one, then I found out what utter tripe, FF2 was.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I still have Origins. Oh god, I remember this. I just got to the Moogle asking, about have you ever fought Final Fantasy Dissida battles? And oh my god. If this is what I think it is.
Song and dance number, of course.
No, there's a sucker battle that you get.
Some things in life you just do.
Okay, good. It's not this one.
Dodge this.
There is this total sucker battle that you can fight, like right here at the beginning of the game,
Dodge this.
with a level 1 character versus a level 100 plus character. Like, the final ultra boss of the game. So how's it coming over on the chat anyway? Because it's looking really laggy on my end.
Ditto.
Yeah, we should probably stop. I should probably turn off screen sharing.
Better get ready for next time.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
I did notice that when I was actually watching the Star Tropics bit of Star Tropics from last night, it looked perfectly fine on YouTube. It was just seemed, a bit laggy last night, but for whatever reason, the YouTube upload just
Something like
see anything.
Dodge this.
And I was just wondering if there was something you did after the fact, or...
It was probably just that the stream came through like that, and
Dodge this.
the recorded video recorded it perfectly.
Okay, yeah, probably that.
Dodge this. Have some more.
I am not, the most well-versed in all these gadgets and doohickeys and gizmondos.
Well, it's probably also for Dissida. This is a much higher quality visual game.
Better get ready for next time.
Okay, it's looking a little better.
Good.
I can see actual moves being done.
And the funny part, too, if you're paying attention for little moments like this, where the Moogle is telling you stuff, you're getting valuable advice. Oh, and like this, Kupo, you didn't need me to tell you that? Have you already mastered Dissida, Kupo? You get a choice here. Guess which one's the sucker option. He says, well, I wouldn't say that, and I am a master. I'm not crazy enough to try to take on a level 130-something Chaos. at this point in the game.
Oh, they brought Chaos back.
Yes, Chaos is the end boss in the second campaign, and an ultimate version of him is the boss in the third campaign.
You know, it's starting to dawn on me now how far back I actually go with Final Fantasy. That I actually remember, I think it was my dad who played it and got to the end. That's how I know, spoilers, the final boss at the end of the first game is Chaos.
Yeah.
That's how I know it, because I actually saw it with my own two eyes.
Dodge this.
And then the whole confusion with Super Nintendo releases, and wait a minute, why did they jump from 3 to 7 and all of that nonsense?
Right. And right now I'm beating the crap out of Laguna. Or a Laguna.
Dodge this.
I would have enjoyed 8 more if they let me beat the crap out of Laguna.
Well then, you might actually want to get the Duodecim game, because Laguna is a playable character and a fightable character.
Who are you watching?
There are a lot of characters here I just want to see bad things happen to. There seem to be a lot more of those after 7.
Which is kind of a shame, because some of them, they are actually pretty cool. Like, I think it's funny how many people put Squall down when they don't really bother to get into his head and realize this is a guy who's actually pretty broken inside. He's just very good at pretending otherwise. Which is some of his character right there, you know? And honestly, like, there was so much of my life I related to that.
Right. Oh, I was thinking more along the lines of wanting to push Zell Dink in front of a truck.
Actually, Cypher. I would push Cypher under a train. If I could.
The train to the future, of course.
Of course. Okay. Oh, calendar. Always gotta check the calendar. Aw, no mail yet. See, they have this cool feature every day. When you go into the calendar, you'll get a mail from one of the Googles. And sometimes you get bonuses. Which, like I said, this is another reason I'm going to eventually import my save data from the PlayStation.
Wait, mail isn't postage, right?
Yes, as in postage.
Okay.
And you'll get points that you can spend over in the catalog. You'll get, well, let's see, here in collection, which I haven't opened up yet because I haven't beaten the first story mode. You get all these little player icons when you play games with the other players. You know, just all these nice little things. You can buy spare outfits for other characters. Well, actually for all the characters, because you not only play as all the good guys, you get to play as the villains, too. So you can be playing as Chaos, the Emperor, Cloud of Darkness, Golbez. That's what's so fun with this game, is yes, it's sort of a fan fiction, but it's a very well thought out, well designed fan fiction.
Okay.
Let's see, what do I start with? I start with but 2 attacks for lightning, Blitz and Smite. Yeah, there's 2 different types of attacks. There's bravery attacks, which build up that little purple meter that, you know, that little, not purple, that white number that you saw next to my hit points.
Right.
Yeah. If you choose to do a hit point attack and it connects, you do that much damage. But then your bravery goes back to 0, and you have to. You can either get break inflicted then, in which point you cannot inflict HP attacks, or if you're like me sometimes and you're really fast on the draw, you can then continue to beat the crap out of them to bring your bravery back up quickly. Yeah, right now I have all of 4 attacks. Okay. I have nothing to equip because I'm starting out fresh. Got no summons. And no accessories. There's even this ability adjust level that you can do later, you know. I'll explain that as we get to it all.
The divine conflict between harmony and discord rages on. The fate of the world its promised prize. Fighting to secure it, our brave souls summoned for that solitary purpose.
They at least did one thing right with this game. They have
Champions,
stellar voice acting.
cut from a cloth different from those which form the fabric of our world.
You know, it's like the one perfect thing that you cannot say anything bad
These
about.
warriors from afar
The voice
are
acting is
helpless but to do as bid. Waging battle after endless battle for the gods who called them here. Granted neither respite nor reprieve.
Like, wait till you hear Chaos. He will give you
Relying
shivers.
on what fragments of their shattered memories remain. They fight to end the conflict. And for a chance to return home. To the worlds they each once knew. What they cannot know is that they fought in vain. This war is
You're not
one
hearing
without
too much
end,
acoustic guitar
and it is
outside right
their
now,
fate to
or
serve forever.
on my end right now, are you?
Their
No.
epic
I do have a
strength
sibling who's
keeps
playing
winning.
quite vigorously. So again, I'm in the same sort of isolated part of the house. So I don't think that should be too much of a problem.
Right. No, you're good.
Hey,
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
you figure they all made it to Cosmos by now?
I guess they could have. You must be tired, huh?
Of course I am. Laguna led us down the scenic road. I don't know what you were thinking.
Yeah.
So since I have to have the
Could've sworn this was the
Twitch
quick route.
on mute,
Guess
I'm
not.
just imagining what
Yeah,
it
guess
sounds
not.
like in my head right
Well,
now.
It can't really be that much farther from here,
Well, in the
can
case
it?
of like
I think I've seen this place
Yuna and
before.
Tifa, you already know their voices at
Right?
least.
See there? Yuna knows what's up.
I know the voice that I
Out
gave
of
to
our
Tifa
way,
for my
we're
Final
still on
Fantasy
track.
VII
No
streams.
need to complain.
Right. Well, in this
Yuna,
case, Rachel
you
Leigh
oughta let
Cook
me know
came
what you
back
really
from
think.
Advent Children.
It's for his own good.
I heard she's all that.
She's awesome.
Lightning. Time to stop
She
sulking.
really is. She was like amazing as Tifa.
Who's sulking?
And Lightning is every bit as grumpy
Had
as she is
Laguna
over
not
13.
taken charge, we might well never have made it this far. Perhaps his words were mostly false, but even so, they moved us, and that's why we're here.
I know that. Thanks for the refresher.
So the meaning for you know, She's All That reference was that there was actually a film called She's All That.
Oh,
Back in-
Called us again.
And she was in that with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Ugh,
Who knows?
the poor woman.
I intend
Yeah,
to
I
win
never
this
actually
fight.
got to see that one. I think I
I'd
recall
win,
hearing about it.
and I
just
get
kinda,
my
like,
memory
looked at it
back.
and went, pass.
I get to go back home.
Typical 90s
Keep
teen
telling
flick.
myself that, just like everyone else.
Actually, you ever notice for a lot of
But
those
you
teen
know,
flicks, especially from the
Now that
90s, you
I've
look
been
at it
here
and
a
you're like,
while,
my school was never like this.
sometimes I have to wonder if winning really means we'll get to go back home at all. If it might
You know,
be
that it's
winning
very
won't change a thing.
cliche and doesn't really apply
just-
to most people.
I can't help but wonder.
What's this? Is it really possible our Lightning's as human as the rest of us?
What?
Look, we've all got our worries, but we're trying to do what we can.
So here's what's sort of befuddling me.
Leaving that up to me.
Anything
People
but
seem to
that.
gravitate towards Lightning as a character,
Don't sweat it.
even
We'll figure
though
something out.
most folks
Long as
will
we
readily
still
admit
have
that
things are
that
bound to work out.
Final Fantasy XIII was a steaming
I'm sure
pile.
Star once wayward guide. He speaks from experience.
She's basically Cloud,
Shall we then?
as he really
Relax.
truly tried to be,
Our battle will not be ended so easily.
except without any of Cloud's crippling issues and crippling PTSD.
No, that it won't.
So, you know, Lightning is actually surprisingly cool. But yes, 13 was horrible. God, I got to the second Juggernaut fight, and I said, down with it. shirtless. And I haven't put it back in the system since.
I'm not too sure very many of these characters would be, fun to hang out with. I guess for Cloud's redeeming value to me is he looks goofy enough to not take too seriously.
Actually, that's why he's kind of fun, because in this game he doesn't take himself too seriously. Oh, and real quick, I'm bringing up a little feature. This world map, once it gets there for you people on the stream, should look extremely familiar. And then we get a little tutorial that, these orbs, you have to hit them, break them, and you get power from them. The fun part is, on the world map, you can also hit and abuse the other characters standing around.
Just give them a good thrashing. A well-deserved thrashing.
Yeah. Although in this case it's Yuna, so I don't think I'm going to do that too much. Because Yuna's actually really nice and sweet, and I like her.
You are far more merciful than I would be.
Now, Laguna, on the other hand, and this is for abandoning, and I'm assuming completely, God. There we go, lined up. And that's for abandoning Squall. And that's for abandoning your wife. And that's just because.
Alright, who else can we smack around?
Vaughn from 12.
Yeah, just give him a good one for me, because I can't even remember who the hell he is.
He's the guy, the mostly shirtless guy.
Okay. As I alluded to last night, all I know about 12 is that it existed.
Yeah, I own a copy, but I have yet to play it. Well, at the moment, I cannot smack him on. He's not on the world map. Ah, there we go. Straight chain. However, I can smack Kane, although I don't think I will.
Yeah, Kane. I wouldn't mess with Kane.
Actually, no. I will give him 2 smacks. 1 for what he's going to do later in this game, and 2 for...
Well, he did disappear for half the game. He ditched you guys right the second with Alice.
Well, in this case, the second smack was the... Dude, I get that the heart wants what it wants, but you gotta let go of Rosa sometime.
I was more of a Rydia fan than myself.
Well, I'm just saying, because, it was always Cecil and Rosa. He never had a chance.
I thought Rosa was kinda lame. Rydia had better hair.
She was a little more interesting, yes. It's actually sad. It took until the after years for her to get anywhere near interesting. And even then, not so much. For that matter, Tifa and Rinoa are more interesting than Rosa. Oh, and in the stream, if I'm going a little too fast on the text, sorry about that, folks. I'm trying to make it a reasonable speed, it's just... I read the 5th Harry Potter book in 7 hours, okay?
I mastered speed reading years ago, so that's not going to be too much of an issue with me.
Well, yeah, but like I said, for the people in the stream... But once this hits recorded video, feel free to just pause it whenever you want, guys. Because I know I move really fast. Plus, again, I've been playing this game since about 2011, Christmas or so. Back when I got my PSP. So yeah, the characters that we're playing as in the 012 cycle here, they're all additions to the game. We've got from 4, Kane. From 7, Tifa. From 8 is Laguna. From 10 is Yuna. From 12, Vaughn. And then 13 is Lightning. And Lightning is the only character in the whole game that does not have a corresponding antagonist. Even Vaughn gets one as an addition.
I think the game itself was the antagonist.
We've arrived.
Kind of, yeah.
The others must
The
be
tunnel,
already.
a never-ending series of tubes. That's the antagonist for that game.
Tired of waiting.
The long walk down the
A
straight
little
hallway for
distance can
40
be good
hours.
for a relationship.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's kind of hard to come up with a physical manifestation for that.
And the funny thing is, if you look at most of the other,
Come on.
at least, you know, let's see, what was it? 7 onward, well, 7 for sure. In a lot of ways, 7 was a long walk down a straight hallway for 40 hours. It's just, we were kidding ourselves that it wasn't, right? Do you know what I'm saying? It was very, you know, because a long walk down a straight hall is point A to point B. A lot of Final Fantasy VII really was point A to point B until you get the vehicles.
"13 still sucks."
Oh, I'm not denying that.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with being linear.
Oh no, not at all.
I guess they did just, I guess 7. They threw enough in there to make it not feel so linear.
Yeah, they give you enough illusion of choice that it doesn't feel like a long walk down a straight hallway for 40 hours. Actually, speaking of 7, that's another place where, you know, if you look at it, making it episodic will actually work okay, because the way the game works, it's kind of episodic in its own right. You know, you have little sections that can be broken up into.
You must defeat the god of discord, stop chaos, and end this conflict.
And hey there, SK Squee, I see you there.
Cosmos, the goddess of harmony, imbued us with the power she said we would need in order to fight chaos. What she gave us was something we had no way of using on our own. Divine energy that would rest inside us, awaiting the proper catalyst.
I think I'm gonna have to do myself a small favor and get a little more RAM.
According to her, it was a
2 gigs does not
strength
seem to
that
be
would
enough
be
to do all
tempered
3
through
of these
battle
things at once.
by our own wills and would eventually coalesce to form a crystal. As she told it, that crystal would then grant us, her soldiers, power to rival that of the gods themselves. So simple as that. Fight the armies of chaos, collect your crystal, and go take down the god of discord. At least that was the plan. As we all headed back to the field
So I
of
noticed
battle
that they
once
opted
again.
to go with Final Fantasy X Yuna and not Final Fantasy X-2 or X2 Yuna.
What we
Yeah,
found
that was
when
probably
we
the
got
best
there
move.
was something else entirely. Opposition of a form we never
Well, they
could
also
have
kind of had to,
expected.
because they took Tidus and Jekt from 10. So that was like the only way it all works together, is if they're all 3 from almost the same time period, you know?
I can't. can't believe you're leaving me here with the dog.
I'm sorry. Okay, I had to just close the stream just now because I'm realizing a little bit of the slowdown I was getting was because I had it open. So if anybody's got anything to say to me, you could just relay it through Pauncho.
That's fine. Take it step by step. Your party.
Yeah, and like I said, it's how I'm realizing, yeah, I probably need just a little bit more RAM for my system to pull that off. Which is funny, because you'd think 2 gigs would be enough. Oh yeah, and since the game was covering it just now, they're talking about Lightning having paradigms, like she does over in the... in her own game, you can change the paradigm, the way you fight. I will take a look at that in the menu real quick. Okay, like if I move her to Ravager, then she'll be using spells to attack instead of... and then we have Cure, which increases bravery, and then you just continue the combo to keep boosting it. So, changing her paradigm can be kind of useful, but at the same time, there's not a lot of point to it. Are you kidding me?
Did a thing happen?
Yes it did. Let me see if I can fix that real quick.
Okay.
Yes, what happened was I went to the battle and it errored out. So let me just fix that a little. I cannot believe that happened. And where it says main scenario 12's Treachery of the Gods. Like I said, this goes in cycles, and the 13th cycle is what the original game was. They just added this stuff around it, and it's actually pretty fun. Since we've already seen that, skip cutscene. Skip cutscene. Alright, take 2.
From the top.
Okay, there we go. Now it works just fine. I don't know, maybe it was because I'd closed the stream window that it decided, okay, this just we're not gonna let you work this time.
Dodge this. Have some more. Who are you watching? Dodge this.
Okay, that's nice. They emailed my boarding pass to me. Probably print that up before too long.
Good.
Have some more.
So what time's your flight, Mo?
Let's see. They take off from Orlando at 2:30. Arrive at Atlanta about 8 after 4. Then I'm waiting for my connecting flight right around 6. And then from there, it's just a shot to San Fran.
So your first time in California, right?
Exactly. Yeah. First time on the West Coast. To that point, the farthest west I had been was Phoenix. We were in Arizona for, I guess I had spring break vacation in high school. And that was the year that we went to the Grand Canyon, and we couldn't make it back to Phoenix that day because there was a massive blizzard. So we had to pull over in Flagstaff, I believe. Then we had to go back to the Grand Canyon because we couldn't see shit the first time around. And conditions had improved slightly, so we did that, and then keep in mind the weather in Phoenix when we had arrived was probably like already in the 80s at that point, and just not that far of a drive up to where the canyon was. It was really just snowed out completely.
Who are you watching?
Don't get your hopes up.
Who are you watching?
And the hotel is just nicer than the one in Flagstaff. I noticed that right away.
That wasn't too bad of a fight.
Oh, and one ability I forgot to talk about. Once you get the assist bar filled up fully, 2 bars, if you press L and square, they'll do an HP attack instead of a bravery attack. So you can have your ally finish the opponent for you.
Okay.
Which is actually, that's actually kind of handy, because if they're not expecting that, you could be busy attacking them and then send your ally in to do the bravery attack. Or HP. The HP attack to finish. I have to get used to this terminology again. I don't normally talk about it out loud.
Press the button, do the thing, win the fight. Rinse, wash, repeat.
Yep. Kill the weird-looking thing.
Even though your characters themselves are, kind of weird looking for the most part.
Oh yeah, but
they're they're beautiful, weird looking people.
Yeah, they don't look nearly so weird as what's the word? Crystallized versions of every character in this game. Except Chaos. Chaos is the only one you will never fight a mannequin version of. One thing that is slight garbage, though, and I will be doing this off-camera occasionally when I'm not streaming, is fights against higher-level characters are something of a bitch. Once you get past like level 20, they will just curb stomp your ass all over the place. Let's see.
Have some more. Dodge this.
Another problem with this early game, you don't have all your attacks and abilities.
Look out!
So, you're not nearly as good when you first start out. The further you go in, the more attacks you get, the more powerful and useful your character is. Instead of just doing the same few attacks over and over again, you can really mix it up. Long range, short range, mid range. It's beautiful when you get above level 15.
I'm almost thinking to myself, why isn't he doing an EX attack? But this isn't Neptunia.
Actually, how is Neptunia? Because I've heard it's supposed to be kind of interesting, but I've never quite played it.
It's the interesting part is, you know, how batshit the character interactions can get.
Right.
And plus, you know, the special attacks are just bumfuck ridiculous to look at.
So is it a fighting game?
No, it's kind of, try to imagine how a Tales game would play. Well, maybe not a Tales game, but...
I have actually only played the first one. I know people look down on me for that, but I consider it more of a pride that I have just played Fantasia on Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance. I really have no other interest in the rest of it. I don't know why.
I played Symphonia because it was the only game of its type on the GameCube. So, and I think I poured, 70, 80 hours into that one before I got to the end.
That's actually a lot.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, what was it? When I was at that LP panel in Chicago last year, Geop mentioned he was in a Let's Play at the moment. You know, and then he mentions it's a Tales game. Pretty much the entire audience. And the guy interviewing him didn't even know what they were, but he said, "That groan is not a good thing, is it?" I mean, you know, just the fact that everybody in the audience just made that noise, for me, that's just kind of one of those. Kind of says a lot about the Tales series in general. And right now I'm wandering around the Crescent Lake area. See, that's another thing that's kind of fun with this game. They picked the Fun Fantasy map and made it 3D. So, you know, in all three of the cycles you play through, the 0-0 cycle, the 12 and 13 cycle, you're running around in the world of Final Fantasy 1.
Did they sneak Cormac in there at all?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, the only thing you fight are, besides the other characters, are the mannequins of the characters, which you've seen me do a few of already, and Chaos. Which is where, unfortunately, yes, the game gets just that tiniest bit boring. And it's mostly the grinding part.
Yeah, so no stabbing imps or wolves.
No, afraid not.
Nope, okay.
No, like the part
No giving the rat tail to Bahamut to upgrade your class.
Nope.
Oh.
Well, like the biggest part that, you know, it drove me nuts is you are expected, by the time you end a character's chapter, to be a certain level. You start every chapter at level 1. I mean, you know, each time you go through it, because you're playing as a different character in each chapter, except for the last chapter of 12 and 13, you're always starting off at level 1. So they're expecting you to do, I'd say probably at least an hour of grinding per character, just to finish off their individual stories.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's where people may hate me for this, but that's where I can see the Enix part of the company coming in. Because you look at Enix games, they expected that the same a lot of the time, didn't they? You do a certain amount of grinding instead of it just kind of occurring naturally as you play through the game.
Give me a second, I think the canine is doing things.
Okay, then. And just for the record, Internet, I'm doing straight chain because it gets you a lot more KP after the battle. KP being your non-kill purchasing money.
My blade will fix that. Dodge this. Have some more. Have some more. Fire. Fire. Fire! Fire! Add some more! I can fix that. I can fix that. Dodge this. Who are you watching? That wasn't too bad of a fight.
There we go. More abilities. Perfect. Good. Take that off now. Or at least I can once this chain is finished. Oops. Watch very closely. Press R and X at the right time to evade opposing attacks. Yep. As you might have noticed, I've been doing that the whole time. I'm just still getting used to doing this on a controller where I'm not looking at the controls as I'm playing it.
My blade will fix this. Dodge this. Dodge this. Dodge this. Have some more. Like this.
Actually, I was going to talk about it. In fact, since he's taking
That
his
wasn't too
time,
bad of a fight.
there is actually a way to tell just which character you're fighting against before you get into the fight. It goes by the names. Like this next one I'm fighting is called Idle Sky Pirate. The fun part is you can tell what game they're from by the descriptor. Then you can tell which character from the game by the noun. Idle, Sky Pirate. Idle means it's from Final Fantasy 12. Sky Pirate means that we are now facing the boss. That's new. Opponent with no equipment.
It's just a fight. Stay down. Dodge this. Dodge this. Stay down. Who are you watching?
I had to take it out so we could keep.
No problem. actually gives me the chance to you can actually find out who you're fighting before you fight.
Huh.
I mean, you know, they actually, I figured out they made up a system. So I basically get characters and then look at that.
Let me help.
Like right now, I'm facing idle Sky Pirate. Well, idle means that it's well, Sky Pirate means it's fallen.
Stay down. Dodge this.
Fleeting, that's 13. And Flash, lightning.
Okay.
Oh, and what you were saying about EX attacks, those do actually exist in the game. Like those bars on the sides of the screens.
Yeah, that's what sort of made me think of the Neptunia attacks.
Yeah. Well, when you do that, you actually, it's kind of like doing a limit break. In fact, you
Okay,
are
yeah.
doing a limit break. And characters will sometimes equip better equipment like Cloud goes out with ultimate weapon. Tifa goes out with premium. Laguna's machine gun golden. And then once you connect with the finisher attack, they'll do a special move. Like I'm actually about to show you. If he will stop spamming his moves.
Have some more.
There you go.
My face.
You're about to see lightning pull off. He sends it. Now the part that's kind of a slight pain in the ass, if you're not used to doing the special commands for the EX move,
That
you
wasn't
can
too bad
screw
of
it
a
up
fight.
really badly. That's why, you know, there's this wonderfully useful ability. EX mode, perfect, and then you know, it'll occasionally do the attack phase perfectly, and then there's EX mode, which will sometimes, you know, it will always do it perfectly. But since your opponent also has EX as well, they then have the EX
There's no one
defense.
back. Dodge this.
You there, man?
Yes.
Just checking. You went so quiet.
I'm taking everything in.
Well, yeah,
Right.
like I said, this is a surprisingly intricate and well thought out game, except for the grinding part.
Dodge this. Dodge this. Let me help.
Yeah, like right now I just summoned Tifa to do an assist attack, and she just started beating the crap out of my lightning mannequin there.
Dodge this.
Another cool trick you can pull off if you have the full EX bar, if they're attacking you, you can hit the combo for EX
Dodge
mode,
this.
and you go into EX Revenge, which slows down time and lets you beat the crap out of your opponent time stop.
Dodge this.
Alright.
Yeah,
And does it stop them completely?
Not totally. Like I said, it just slows down time, but it's
Right.
like
Let me help.
Okay, like a bullet time thing.
yes.
Alright.
You know, it's like the Flash fighting
Dodge this.
all of a sudden.
Who are you watching?
Yes, I have the slightly bad habit that I like to try to finish my opponent. But more often than not, it's worth
That
it.
wasn't too bad of a fight.
Oh, I get that completely. I'm generally of the mindset that I need to try to win fights as soon as possible. Or at least that's been my, sort of mentality with anything RPG-ish. Since you're going to be doing a lot of the grinding stuff anyway, you might as well just do what you can to expedite things.
Exactly. And this is very much an action RPG. I mean, you can dress it up as a fighting game all you like. It's an action RPG. Because you've got equipment, you've got levels, you've got stats. Okay, like here we go, I'm facing a Delusory Dragoon. Well, Delusory means that it's from FF4. Dragoon, well, I don't think I can tell you fighting, do I?
Dragoon?
That would be Kane.
Okay.
Yeah, like, what was it? FF1 is false, and then you'll face either a stalwart or a hero. FF2 is imitation, and that's either liegeman or emperor. There's 3. Phantom, I believe. And you'll be facing either child or wraith. 4, like we just said, that's Delusory, and it's either knight, warlock, or dragoon. Yes, I have played this game probably a lot more. Probably good.
Dodge this. Dodge this. Dodge this. Who are you?
Oh, and another way you fill up the XP. You see all those little white bubbles that hit? They go flying as you or your opponent get hit.
Okay.
That's how you do it.
Dodge this.
And then sometimes they'll come straight from the EX shows up and wheel to it. So you don't have to worry about collecting just as long as they're there. Because after all, what you can collect is so much more.
Dodge this. Dodge this. Who are you watching? Let me help. Who are you watching? Have some more.
Oh, and one thing too. If you're being attacked, never summon your assist. Because if you're actually taking hits, it will temporarily block your assist bar.
Okay.
So, other than, kind of fan fictionist, what do you think of the game so far? Pauncho?
I'm a little lost in thought right now. I'm still trying to I guess make sense of everything. Because I'm doing a lot more listening right now than some of the other stuff.
Right.
I know. I mean, there was a lot to go over, so I'm just trying to put all of that together in my head.
Well, that is one nice thing. Is it's a slightly longer game than you'd expect it to be, and you pick it up the more you go into the game.
What are those things?
Yeah.
They look like carbon copies of us to me.
Now, what was this released for?
Perspective.
PlayStation
This is
4.
getting us nowhere. They
Okay.
just keep coming and coming.
Mannequins. A never-ending pool of reinforcements. What good is having Cosmos' power if we can't even make it out of here to use it?
Well, well. If it isn't Cosmos' warriors marching straight into my arms of their own accord.
Been a while since we've seen anything but puppets.
Really? Could it be you're out of steam?
Oh, you poor dears.
So you did mention that the map, or at least the map layout, was based on the first game.
Oh no, not
Okay.
again.
And what environment are we looking at now? Where is that?
Do not let them surround you.
Oh, where we're seeing
Yes,
these
ma'am.
four, Kefka
You
and
just
Pooja?
leave your escape route to me.
Yeah.
This
Light,
is
if
the
things look bad,
lunar
get
surface
out.
from Final Fantasy IV.
Okay.
See, what's
So,
kind of
so
cool.
we're on the...
Yeah.
Well,
What's really cool is, you know, you have the map, and then you have all these other places and fight in too.
There's only one of
One,
them.
at least one from every game.
This is your chance to shine.
Will
Like,
you
what are
not
the
stop
two?
talking?
Nine.
It gives me a headache every time you open that
Wait, no,
mouth
9
of
doesn't have
yours.
2. 9 has 2.
Now.
No, wait, it does have 2.
I do not take orders
You
or
fight in the
cues
Crystal
from you,
World,
Kefka.
and
I will engage them
on the
when I
Tantalus.
choose and how I choose.
Fine,
Final Fantasy IX.
whatever. I'll just shut up
Final
and
Fantasy
watch you do your
VI,
thing, okay?
you're fighting
Just
Kefka's
get
Tower.
on with the showing me that you can actually
and
put
the
up a
train.
fight part already.
The Ghost Train.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a
okay.
really small stage.
Lightning with no sky in which to hide. No
Can you
choice
suplex
now
the
but
ghost
to
train?
fulfill your destiny.
I'm
and
afraid not. You're in the
fall.
car instead of the train itself.
Right. So.
So no suplexing. Plus, save it as a goodness. They pick
No,
up
no
Terra.
suplexing. No. No Phoenix down trick, I guess.
Nope. No, they picked Terra as the Final Fantasy VI character.
Never really felt like 6 had a main character. You know,
It
to a lot. Yeah.
I think.
You know, it was this big. And I guess Celeste sort of became the focal point.
Yeah.
You know, once it started going into the world of ruin. But even then, once past that point, it really felt like, you know, more of an ensemble cast than anything else.
Yeah.
Who are you watching? Who are you watching? Dodge this.
9 was the Final Fantasy that I remember Dan playing through a lot. I think he got that for his birthday once. I think I still have it lying around the apartment. Last I checked,
That's why I was so disappointed
Who are you watching?
over at stopped. It did. He just got to disc 2. He had just started on disc 2. He was about to go further in. And then for whatever reason, he just decided he stopped it. He stopped it being entirely. I was like, okay, I get that's your decision. But then why did you even start this LP?
That wasn't too bad of a fight.
how was 9 the one? How was 9 the game where he, you know, drew the line at it?
We drew the line.
Well,
Where he
to
decided
stop
to
it.
stop? I don't know. He just decided, like, things in my life have changed for the better. I don't have time. Oh, well, for one thing, and this is the part where I'd be looking at it. It's because he needs more time to play Fallout 4.
Didn't he?
Or play more,
They say
more
about
Fallout 4.
second place.
like,
Completely pathetic.
I get that you love Fallout 4.
Don't
That's
sweat
great.
it. A little thing like that.
In which case, you can
going to
just
be
put
the
this
end
on
of
hiatus
you.
until you're tired
Should
of
be the
it.
end of that rebellious phase of yours, though. The next time you fight,
Maybe Kino looked at him funny.
study
Who knows?
time all over again. Oh, what kind of delicious.
I mean that character does have that effect on people. Chelsea, for example.
Which character again?
What?
Uh,
Still here?
the one with the frog-looking one with the massive tongue.
very different from the
Quina.
mannequin.
Yes.
Quina.
And that is the reason you're still standing now.
Yeah,
Shouldn't you
Quina.
be kissing my boots in appreciation?
How dare you?
I'm glad there's absolutely no
Besides,
reference
it's
to
not
that
like he's
character in
really
this
gonna
game,
die
even
from that.
though Quina's got one of the best quotes in the
I'll be
game.
back.
He's not dead?
Now,
I do
now,
what I
don't
want.
You go
You have
prying into
problem?
that. Even if I went to the trouble of explaining, you'd just forget. Well, it's been lovely, but being me doesn't.
I think
mean
in the
I'm free.
manual for Final Fantasy IX, one of the few things I do remember, they each had, you know, a picture of the character with sort of their own little mantra beneath it. And that was, you know, Queena's.
It's actually also on the title screen. If you let it idle long enough, they will play all 8 mantras with a little picture of them too.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, and Quina and Amarant's picture and mantra, like, those are the only 2 in the game where we didn't get to see them in cutscene. You know, in a cutscene video.
Okay.
Which kind of says that, well, their scenes were cut. Waka waka. I know.
Maybe they were just, or maybe they were just, you know, inserted in after they had, you know, the CG scenes.
Probably. They probably did all the videos first and realized afterwards, like, you know, we're kind of missing something here. I am standing. Yep, I'm still in the Crescent Lake volcano area. You'll get that a lot in this game, where you end up spending a lot of time in certain areas. Oh, perfect. Rosetta Stones, those are great because when you're in the movie shop and you go and you trade it, you get extra accessory slots, and that is totally worth it because the more accessories you equip, the more battle bonuses you get. So, you know, you'll have to do less bravery attacks to do a faster finisher.
Okay.
So yeah, totally worth it. Which is why right here and now I'm doing trading.
They shouldn't have given you the option to change language settings until you unlock the Rosetta Stone.
Right.
That would have been something I would have liked to have seen.
But yeah, just looking at the
Okay,
shop
can we
right
punch
now,
Waka? Can we punch Waka?
no, I'm afraid he never shows up. But just looking at the shop right now, and you know, I'm letting you know now, the inventory is going to get much bigger before we're done with either of the first 2 campaigns. So that's another reason when I move to the 3rd campaign, I'm totally going to just transfer my old save file over. Because otherwise, I'm going to be playing this forever. So yeah, now I've got 4 accessory slots open. Shame that I don't have anything worth putting in yet. Oh, and they do actually do one nice thing with this story. Because you remember how I said the Sun cycle takes place before what was the first game? They give a very plausible reason that the new characters are not in the rewritten story for the first game.
And that is?
They were finally removed from the entire battle cycle. Like, what we end up doing here lets them finally escape and go back to their world.
Okay.
Not worth wasting that string chain yet. So is anybody saying anything over in that chat yet?
SK Squeeb was the last one.
Man, you people are quiet. You can talk to us. We'll talk back as best we can, you know.
Oh, you know what? It's the holidays. It can be like that sometimes. People are out and about and all of that business.
And the few that are watching it probably just have us on for background noise. Which is just
Or
fine.
slosh dog.
Which is just fine, although they should count themselves lucky we're not like reading porno scripts or
Dodge
anything.
this. Dodge this.
You know, we would totally do that just to mess with their heads.
Dodge this.
Just to see who's paying attention. Oh, and you might have noticed something I do every now and then when I deliberately do damage past 2 or 3 thresholds. Like how it said AP chance first bravery attack over 500 plus 2. I do that because this early in the game, if it's not bonus day, you really do want to get as much ability points from all these abilities as you can. So you know, as you learn new abilities, you can start equipping them and elevate your arsenal, basically.
You know, I could read Cloud Mows the Lawn to see if anyone's paying attention.
Wait, is that an actual fan fiction?
That wasn't too bad of a
Yes.
I am actually now kind of curious.
Wrapping gifts, yeah.
No
I
matter
really
how
need
you
to
take
get
down
on. Well, I only
most
actually purchased a few things. The rest of the gifts for everyone else are probably going to have to wait till I get back from San Fran.
Right.
Because there's actually stuff worth buying over there as opposed to where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I would suggest that you don't read Cloud Mows the Lawn in public.
Okay then. Yeah, I did not, because I'm broke and unemployed right now, you know, I did not, or could not, hang on, perfect timing on that, I could not actually buy people anything, so I instead made gift cards. You know? Like, took them to a print shop, printed them out, put them with Christmas cards, so now people can actually get some of my time where they can. Since right now, that's about all I can give.
You can do what you can.
Yeah. And it was kind of fun, you know, coming up with things that, like, okay, what could they use that I could offer?
Dodge this.
I found that in recent years, I tend to put a priority on, you know, things that actually serve a practical purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just saying, like, you know,
Dodge this.
like, for my mother, I offered
Dodge this.
helping when she's finally moving out of her house, helping her pack up and clean and everything. And assuming if I have a job by then or not, I will make sure to just take the whole day off and go right over there.
That wasn't too bad of a fight.
Okay.
Yeah, this game is actually, you know, it surprises me sometimes how people overlooked the sequel to Dissida. They just know about the first one. I mean, you could even get Eris as an assist in this game. You know, and she will beat the crap out of them with her staff. So imagine summoning Eris while you're fighting Sephiroth.
A little bit of poetic justice there, perhaps.
Exactly, a little bit of amusing revenge.
So how did some of the later games, like the second one, differ from this one?
Well, this is the second one.
Oh, okay. Well, how did the first one differ from?
They changed the way the battles go, for one. Like the map, the world map, I think, is different. And the map that you fight them on, you know, the gateway maps, is also different. And of course, there's like 10 extra characters in this game that weren't in the first one. Like, we have 2 characters from 11, as I said last night. Really surprised me that they would even be in this game, but... What else? They added Gilgamesh 5.
Dodge this.
Right.
And just like, you know, after 5, he's going through the void and the rift, trying to find Barts and all the others. They also added Galvin as well, who's supposed to be the big protagonist guy. So yeah, we ended up with, from a cast of 20 going up to 30. With, since they added the 0-0 campaign, everyone being playable.
Have some more! Who are you watching?
There we go, yeah. So, you know, I always thought that was a nice touch, that now, in this one, you can play as all these guys you've been fighting against in the first game.
That wasn't too bad of a fight.
Although, generally what I would do is, I would, you know, when I'm going through these higher level dungeons in the 0-0 campaign, I would be playing with Squall, Tifa, and Cloud, because I've found I'm actually best with those three. And then in my last 2 slots, because you can have a party of 5, I'll be bringing a couple of the Chaos Warriors along, because, well, really, you're facing like level 70 and above opponents. Do you really want to try a level 1 character in that environment?
Is there anyone that you wish they would have included in these games?
I would have liked to see Locke, actually, from 6. Because he's pretty awesome. Locke or Celeste. Maybe even have Waka, because I was discussing this on a Facebook page. Waka as a comedy option. He's confused as hell by all of this. He just wants to know what is going on. Can you imagine him doing that? You know,
Why did you put him? Why did they put me in a world with no Blitzball?
Yeah, and he's like, what is going on here, man? And he's still got his faux Jamaican accent that doesn't work very well.
Jamaicanesian accent.
Yes. Maybe even Oran from 10. I will have to actually go and find what I did with that post, because I came up with some pretty cool ideas in most of these games.
Who are you watching?
New character ideas.
Who are you watching?
Bring back Tella and Gallo. Revenge of the dead old guys.
Right.
That wasn't too bad of a fight.
Yeah, I'm probably going to stream, like, each stream will be just that character's chapter. Because, you know, all the cutscenes and such really do push up to at least an hour. Yeah, you remember Johnny Young Bosch, right? Like, have you seen Trigun?
Yes.
Yes.
And a bunch of other things. Yeah.
He is in this
You made it out.
as Therion.
What about
from
the rest
FF2.
of them? Vaughn, Tifa.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that name.
Bartz. Someone got him?
Fury, not Johnny Young Gosh.
Yes.
Bartz,
And
stay with
he does
us.
pretty well.
Is Wendy Lee in this? Because Wendy Lee is in everything.
I don't think so. I'd have to...
She's not in everything. Damn.
Actually, I was going to say, is Polly in the stream right now? Because she's missing Ali Hillis talking. Because she, you know, she loves Lightning's voice.
I think we can all do better than Lightning, honestly.
Here we go. I'm fighting in the old chaos.
Far many more folks I would probably want to spend time with than Lightning.
Forgive me, I have no choice.
I think Lightning would be cool to hang out with if you're going to a bar. Because can you imagine her putting up with weird randos that are trying to come up to you and hit on you? Right?
Well, randos don't really hit on me, but...
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I could not see her putting up with anybody, any random passerby shit at a bar. Like there was a scene in Jessica Jones. Like, did you watch that yet?
I have not.
Well, there was a scene where Jessica's in the bar with her adopted sister. And unfortunately, said adopted sister was on the show when she was a teenager. And she was considered just a little bit of a sex symbol. Which we found out by the guy that's coming up to hit on her, talking about how he learned to use the remote and jerk off at the same time. It's like, dude, like Patsy really wanted and needed to know that. Like that was her life's ambition to know that Mr. Brando jerked off to her as a teenager, right? So, can you imagine Lightning putting up with that crap? Lightning...
Well, you have people telling her that they learned how to, play with a PS3 controller while jerking off.
And I can imagine Lightning giving the exact same response to that. Which is basically just pull out the weapon. Okay, that's it. Here's another thing in this game that you might have been noticing. The mannequins, even the high-level ones, not so bad to fight. The actual character themselves, no matter what level they are, they're going to kick your ass. They're that good. On the other hand, this is
I believe you.
Yeah, once you hear the music later, it's gross. Now, believe me, when you hear Kane's voice, on TV tropes, I believe they described him as fetish fuel station attendant. He's got a hell of a voice.
Now, what is the significance of, station attendant in this context?
Like, a gas station attendant.
Okay.
Well, in this case, fetish fuel station.
Okay, yeah, it hit me now.
Yeah, like, they're
I think there are only 2 states where you're not allowed to pump your own gas. And the attendant has to do it for you.
Yeah, where is that anyway? Because
New Jersey and Oregon, I believe, are the only 2.
That's kind of weird, actually.
Oh, if it isn't our double-crossing young disturber of the peace. Tell me.
Would it surprise you that Would it surprise you that most of the enemies in this game have very deep voices? I mean, even the Cloud of Darkness is kind of husky voiced.
This may be well worth hunting.
They are not, very nice towards, low-voiced folks, apparently. I think by those standards, I could be a Final Fantasy villain.
Will soon sweep across the very place.
Wouldn't be a very good one or memorable one, but...
Against the likes of you.
Well, I don't know, just get yourself a lot of funky-looking armor, you'll do great, right?
The dolls have served their purpose better than you could know. They may have their imperfections, but they are more than capable of
anyway.
And I guess this is Golbez's pre-face turn.
Most of your friends have already
This is Garland, actually.
Garland, okay, the first guy, the knocker downer.
Departed.
Garland pre-chaos.
What's that supposed to mean?
So this is the second game where both characters have been in at the same time.
They know only how to deliver death and destruction.
Now, Golbez is in it as the protagonist, the antagonist from 4.
I suspect that we shall not see one another again.
He doesn't really
Fare thee well,
the
soldier
Chaos
of
folks,
Cosmos.
even though he's on their side most of the time. Like, there's an interesting bit right here. Right now, in this 12th cycle, Cloud and Tidus are over on the Chaos side. It isn't until the 13th cycle that everybody is on their proper side. You know, good guys or bad guys. And right here at the end of the first Lightning chapter is actually probably a good break for there, right?
I'd say so.
Oh, it says here, a new report has been unlocked. Those are actually kind of interesting. You can play them as side stories. Like you open up in a menu.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new part of story mode. Like right now. Oh. It will not actually let me open that report yet. Oh well. And now that I've finished one chapter, it will let me open up the player points catalog.
And I guess this is where you
I buy all
customize.
Yeah,
your preferred
like,
deck.
and you can also, like in the characters, you can unlock Garland, the Emperor, Cloud of Darkness, Golbez, Exdeath, Kefka, Sephiroth, Ultimisha, Kuja, Jekt, Shantoto from Final Fantasy 11, Gabranth from 12, and there are two more, but they're not open as options yet. Like, I have to get much further in the game before I can do that. You also get alternate looks, and there's the jukebox, which lets you listen to the voices and the music. Well, some of them you have to buy. Actually, all of them you have to buy, which is a shame. System, stuff that I can unlock for battle setup, where I can do deliberate battles instead of just what the story hands me. Like if you want to have Tifa versus Tifa. And here's a cool thing that I found out in the voice data. They have vocal clips for that stuff too. Like Tifa versus Tifa, she will say, "What would I gain from this?" Or Tifa versus the Cloud
You
of
filthy
Darkness.
Austin. Yeah.
It's wasn't. There's only room for it's basically there's only room for one cloud in my life, thanks.
Oh.
Onion Knight, she says, "Good luck, little knight." Because you know, Onion Kid, short little thing.
Okay. Those were from 3, weren't they?
Yes.
Alright.
And there's even she has a really good one against Zidane. It's what are you looking at? Focus! In other words, she's telling him, concentrate on my fists and not my tits, buddy. And you can even configure all this stuff for when you're playing against other people. However, since I don't have anyone to actually play against, I'll just set it for whatever I want at the moment.
Right. Well, we won't concern ourselves too much with that.
Yeah. Unless, somebody knows how to do... Well, actually, since I can set this to do straight from my internet connection. Because you ever notice for PlayStation Portables, for whatever reason, you cannot connect them to the internet from a locked Wi-Fi. You have to, it has to be a completely open connection.
I would have liked it if they just kept the Final Fantasy 1 warrior sprite and had him, fight the fully rendered, lightning like you would in the game normally.
That would have been... He does actually have an alternate look. where you can dress him up as the warrior from Final Fantasy 1.
Is he all red and everything?
Yes, and he has the big red, the poofy red hair even. Okay, so folks, that's Dissida Duodecim, and this is what I will be doing as my regular stream most of the time with other games, so you don't get too bored of me. So,
A plethora of other games waiting in the wings.
oh yeah, totally. And I'll be pausing that stream there. So, pretty interesting game at least, huh? I mean, it's better than what you thought it would be, isn't it?
Mm.
At least from what you've seen so far.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a little, I guess, kind of the lag made it a little hard to follow along.
Yeah, sorry about that. But at least once the video is up, it'll be much easier to follow with. Because whatever my connection cannot quite handle, my computer will handle perfectly.
Okay.
So, we're going to be out of here, Internet. So, you guys have yourself a great day and a happy Festivus and Christmas.